Graduation, got several guys graduating, proud of all those guys. Got Zach Brooks and Travis Blanks and BJ Goodson and Cockrell and Rod Byers, Lacob, several of those guys graduating, so really happy for them. And so they'll be off tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a really just a true Oklahoma prep day, just all game prep. And then we'll really ramp it back up Friday and Saturday. So just trying to execute our plan that we got in place. But I thought today was a good day, and then we've really been blessed with the weather. I mean, just amazing, especially going to Miami. To be able to practice in this type of weather, I think is a beautiful thing in December. It's amazing.
Coach, 3 freshman All-American. Can you talk a little bit about how instrumental not just they have been, but all the freshmen that you've had play for you this year?
Who were they? Who were the freshmen?
We had Hyatt,
Hyatt and Hugel.
Who was it?
Wilkins, Hyatt, and Hugel.
Wilkins, Hyatt, and Hugel. Well, I think we kind of all expected Wilkins and Hyatt to be, really good players based on what we saw coming out of camp. Hugel, nobody even knew who he was. So that's a blessing, because we knew going into this thing, my biggest concern was, kicker, who was going to put it between the pipes, especially with Lacob knowing that he was going to be out with some discipline. So I tell you, tip your hat to old Greg. What a year he's had. Outside of the extra points, he's had an unbelievable year. That's pretty amazing. So proud of those guys, but all those freshmen. I mean, some of these guys maybe get a little more opportunity than others earlier in their career, you just got to play a good bit to have a chance to be a freshman All-American. But it's really about what you do in your career and taking it from here and getting better. This is an excellent group of freshmen. We spend a lot of time, as y'all know, during bowl practice working our JV, and ramp that up today too with some really good competitive stuff. We'll get into some scrimmaging and watching some of those young guys and just coaching them. They've kind of been, hey, you, that guy, for the last several months working scout team. And so now to be able to get back with their position coaches and be coached and get everybody else out of the way to where they're the main guys, that's one of the best things we do, and I think it's allowed us to kind of develop our guys at a little further pace. So great freshman class. Some of them are further along than others, but the power hour's been really big for a lot of them, and I can see just in the few days that we've been working those guys, you can see some improvement from where they were this summer.
Are there any of those points, or are you trying to get Greg back into that? You said it's
no. Lacob's going to kick the extra points, and Greg will kick all field goals.
Any of those red shirts
we'll go back to work this spring.
Any of those red shirts that kind of jumped off the page at you over the last couple of days?
Any of the what?
Any of the red shirts?
No, it's too early for that. I mean, we did some Oklahoma drill today, and there's you see a guy like Huggins. He didn't redshirt, but he's just been learning, and man, he jumps out at you. You see, Sterling Johnson, just the raw strength of a guy like Sterling Johnson. Because we did our Oklahoma drill today, and we did some one-on-ones where we just kind of did some matchup stuff. So we've got a really good group, and then some of those redshirt freshmen too that maybe haven't played as much. But we'll have more. We'll kind of evaluate them as we go all the way through Miami.
Do you still season, you don't pay attention to the rankings. You just don't want to talk about it. But is there a part of you here in late November, December, when you're driving to work in the morning, where you just say to yourself, "Dang, I'm the coach of the #1 football team in the country. My football team is #1." Is there a part of you that just?
Not really. I just because I enjoy where we are and all that, but there's just so much work to be done. My mind is on what we got to do to finish. That's what my mind's on is what I got to get done at work today. What we got to do for the staff, what we got practices, and just there's just a lot going on right now, and that's where my mind is, recruiting. We want to stay a good team, and so we've got to continue to recruit the right, not just good players, but the right kind of players. And so it's just always work, but when it's all said and done, then hey, we'll take some time to enjoy it. I certainly took some time last week. I had a little bit of time coming off that championship game, and that's what I tried to stress to our guys is, because we're always talking about what's next. Okay, we won the ACC championship. Okay, let's go win the national championship. Let's win the playoff. And if you're not careful, you don't enjoy the journey. And so I tried to really stress that to our guys a little bit. Is okay, hey, we got a lot of work to do. We know we got to go back to work, but let's enjoy being this ACC championship. Let's enjoy being 13-0. Let's really understand how hard it is to accomplish what we've done. And so yeah, I've taken a little time to do that, but once I got back here, it's Oklahoma. It's preparing the team. It's just everything we got to do to finish the very best we can, and hopefully we can win this one and get a chance to go play a 15th game, and for all the marbles. It doesn't work out our way, then we'll finish 13-1, and we'll celebrate this team either way. It's a great year, great team, but man, you want to win them all,
Sure.
and so that's all our focus is right now. But I'm proud of our team and what they've been able to accomplish.
From the early part of the year, how much did you and the staff have to drill into Tankersley, like, hey, with Mackenzie's reputation, you're going to be the guy that they're going to be coming after a good bit?
Oh, he knew that. I mean, he knew that. We didn't really have to drill that into him a whole lot. I mean, he knew that, especially after the first couple of games, that they were going to come after him. But what a year he's had, I mean, he's had a great year. He's gotten better and better and better. Still got a lot of upside, a lot of improvement to do. But shoot, he's been tremendous all year. There's been a few competitive plays made on him, really good throws, right in the right spot, but that's ball. But he's been as consistent a player as we've had on that defense all year.
If Mackenzie were to decide to move on to the NFL, does Tankersley have the skill set to possibly step up and be a true national lockdown cornerback?
He's already doing that. Yeah, I mean he's already. He's made a ton of plays, huge plays for us. He's a physical guy. And he's very confident because of the experience he has now and the success that he's had. But yeah, I mean, he's just as good as McKenzie. I mean, he's a great player. There's no question about it.
He's made some great catches, like the one he made against North Carolina.
Unbelievable.
Is that something that you've seen really develop, or has he always had pretty good hands?
Well, he played a lot of offense in high school. He played quarterback and a little bit of everything, but he's always kind of had good ball skills. It's never really been a problem with him. But that play he made in the championship game was unbelievable. I mean, you got wideouts probably don't go make that play. That was a great play on the ball and a very difficult catch. But like I said, he's a ball player and confident and just getting better.
Through a few days, any separation at right guard?
No. That'll go all the way till we get ready to play. But heck, we're rolling Crowder and Maverick and Norton. Norton's got a lot of guard too, we'll just keep playing them. One of them will run out there first, but they all gonna play. So, but we hadn't decided that yet.
Playing Oklahoma in a bowl game again, you got a lot of years between playing and coaching under your belt. Can you remember another time where you come off beating a team that badly and then you play them in a bigger game the year after, maybe something you can relate to?
North Carolina. I mean, we killed them pretty good last year, and then we got to play them for the championship. So that's probably the first thing that jumps in my mind would be North Carolina. But outside of that, there's a lot of teams that you play that you beat the year before, but it really doesn't have anything to do. They're all big. I mean, the next year it's a huge game, so you just want to count it and try to win. But people ask me about last year's game. It really just has nothing to do with this year, other than you maybe have a little bit of a feel for the personnel because you've actually seen a team. A lot of times when you play teams that you don't ever see, you don't really have a true gauge of their true size and all that stuff until you see them in person. So same thing for them. I mean, we both have that knowledge of each other, but the game is about these 4 quarters, and if they'll turn it over 5 times again, then that would be a beautiful thing if we can hold on to it. But I don't think you can go into the game, depending on that. This is 2 teams good enough to win the national championship. They're going to battle it out, and it's going to come down to 4 or 5 plays, and hopefully we're the team that makes them.
You mentioned B.J. Goodson as a guy who's graduating. How proud are you of the way that he's developed as a senior?
Yeah, I was just telling his mom that this morning at the brunch that I had to go to. It's exactly what I was telling her. I was like, that's why you coach. I mean, at least that's why I got into coaching is, because that's what my coaches did for me. just helped me, and I know that they took pride in seeing a transformation in me, and that's what I do as a coach. I love seeing those guys just grow up and figure it out. And here's a guy I told development, I said, remember when I was sitting at your kitchen table there in Lamar, South Carolina, and we were talking about BJ and his future and possibilities and all these things, and here he is now. He's a Clemson graduate, and he is a grown man. I mean, BJ Goodson he's ready for whatever he wants to do in life. I mean, he is just mature and focused and driven and committed and a disciplined person. So I mean, I just am so proud of him, and again, that's what it's all about, because I get to see that transformation. To me, a big part of college is just figuring life out. You're just figuring it out, and he's done that. Great leader for us. He has come a long, long way. Really, really proud of him.
What are the biggest ways in which you saw him change over the years?
Just maturity. He was very quiet, wouldn't hardly ever communicate and talk. Now he's got a great personality. He's much more confident. He wasn't a very confident guy early on in his career, and now he is. Just his knowledge, of the game is completely different, obviously, as it should be from what it was when he got here. And I think just his belief that he can be a great player. Sometimes these young guys come in here early on and maybe they don't have immediate success, and other guys do, and maybe lose a little confidence along the way. But he's as confident a player as we got on this team.
Does it feel like practices are more productive now that the players have exams behind them, or
Yes.
they've been pretty much focused all
Yes,
season?
thank goodness. I was talking to Coach D'Antonio about that the other day, because they have finals all this week, and he was trying to get his schedule mapped out where he could balance all that stuff. And then yes, absolutely, because if I don't like a period, I can just start it over. We don't have a 20-hour rule, and they know it. So it's been really good. So it's a little different than when you're in season. Every minute's documented, and you don't have as much flexibility. So we've got great meeting time, good prep time for the coaches, and it's just, you don't have to feel rushed in anything. So we're just kind of slowly getting the game plan in, and with our hope of finishing up on Monday when we break for Christmas break. We pretty much have the plan done. So when we come back here, we'll practice here the morning of the 26th before we fly to Miami. We're just going to be polishing and executing, trying to get the details down.
Do you see a higher level of focus in the players, and they don't have to worry about going to class, doing an exam? There's a sense of urgency. I mean, these guys get it, and then our practices are structured too, to where it's we're moving all the time. It changes. There's a lot of competitiveness going on, and the one thing about this team is they'll compete. And I have to be careful with that sometimes, because if you spot the ball, they're gonna get after it. And our practices have been great, but they want to win. I mean, they want to win, and their actions align with that as far as how they practice.
Are you surprised at all, Dabo, about the chemistry on the offensive line with 5 new starters?
No, I'm not surprised, because that's what I saw this spring emerging, and I really saw it this summer and in fall camp, to the point that I was like, okay, our offensive line is going to be, I think, maybe the best part of our offense when it comes December. I mean, because they have the want to, the drive, the mentality, the talent, and this has been a fun group, and we're going to be better next year. We'll be better up front next year in the OL. There's no doubt in my mind. We are going to be a really, really good offensive line. And I'm excited about that.
How hard is it to come in and do what Mitch is doing as a true freshman?
Near impossible. It's just here's the amazing thing about Mitch Hyatt is nobody ever asked me about Mitch Hyatt. This is a true freshman left tackle. We've had 13 games, 13 game plans, and not one game the entire year have we helped him at all. Meaning, slide the protection to him, chip protection where we're chipping a back out, stacking a tight end where the tight end's chipping his way out. Not one time. Not all year. He's just
he's played left tackle like he's a senior over there, and has just been amazing. And the kid is he and Frew Morgan. You know, Frew Morgan has been a little different depth situation over there with Joe, but those two guys are going to be big time special, especially when they get another off season and now that they've got some experience. But it's near impossible to do what Mitch has done. It's a rare thing. It's the first time since 40s that we've had a guy start here at left tackle. It's just hard. I've never been around it. I've never been around it ever.
Was there a point in the season where you saw defenses kind of stop trying to attack his side of the line?
We just never even worried about it. Never thought twice about it all year. There was a lot of games you'd come out of it and nobody says anything about Mitch. I missed him. Oh, he played great. He did this. He graded this. He graded that. He's lineman of the week. You know, inside our meeting rooms and things like that. I mean, he's a special talent.
So often with developmental players, like a Dodd or a Tankersley or even a Peak, it's like, well, you guys see it all the time in practice, and it's the rest of us on the outside who.
Yeah.
Are you surprised by a Mitch Hyatt and what he's been able to accomplish as a true freshman?
I'm not really. I really thought he would play a lot and play early, and watching him this spring and watching how he responded to getting, just his face beat in by Shaq Lawson out there, and watching how he the pride that he had and how he just keep coming. I was like, this kid is really going to help us this year. There's going to be no doubt he can play, and I didn't know Battle was going to be gone, and but when I got into camp and right out of the gate, it's the exact thing I'm telling y'all that he's done this season. That's what I saw in camp. It was just like the game had slowed down, but he had been through the spring, he'd been through the summer, now he's going through fall camp, and I mean, you're just like, wow. So maybe a little surprised in that regard that he was just so ready, right out of the gate, but not surprised that he's had a great freshman year.
He's a little lighter. Is it a matter of him keeping their hands off of him so they can't throw him around? Or?
Yeah, he's just strong and athletic, great feet, knows a great technician at the position, knows how to use his body, and stronger than you might think he is, for the weight that he's at right now. But he's long. He's got great just raw power, but he's going to get in that weight room this offseason, and he's a kid that's going to be probably a 305, 310 guy by the time it's all said and done, and just locked down because he's very, very smart and athletic. Studies the opponent relentlessly as far as their tips, so he's an anticipator. He's able to anticipate things because he puts the time in the preparation, and that helps him.
All set.
Thank you, Coach.